Actually, it's not my page, it's Lori's page. Come on into my live. My name is Kathy Dyer, and I am the creator behind Kathy Dyer Wreaths. I'm so happy that you all can join me today. Let me get you up on my Facebook page, and then we'll kind of go from there. So let's see what we got. Hopefully this works okay, right? Come on, baby. I always talk to my thing. Come on, baby, let's go. Oh, it looks like I'm here. Oh, well, bless my soul. I think I found this. Yeehaw. Yeehaw. Let's see if I can get your comments up here. Alrighty, make sure you say hi when you guys come in so I know that you're here. My Facebook page froze. Hey, Ella, how are you? I know there's going to be a lot of new faces here that I don't know. So make sure when you get done with this that you follow me on my page, Kathy Dyer Wreaths. I'd love that. Hey, Sheila, how are you? And Diana's here from Boston. Suzanne's on. Hey, everybody. This is my very first live on the Unique in the Creek page. I'm so happy to be with you guys. It's quite an honor to be part of Lori's team. So thank you all for coming in to join me. I'm going to give it just a little bit extra time to say hi to you guys today because it's the first time you're seeing me and the first time I'm seeing some of you. So we'll give it just a few minutes and we'll get right into our project. I have a really great project for you guys today. Lori Franklin's on. Hey, Miss Lori, how are you? Nancy's on, first time from Boston. Hey, Kathleen, how are you? And Sandra's on deck too. Sandra's on deck. Sandra Deck is on deck. Yeah. Boom, boom, right? Just a little humor for today. Linda's on. Cindy. Hey, you guys. Thank you all for joining me. So I wanted you to see my face. I know you can't see this very well. So what I'm going to do for today only is let you see my face. And then in just a second, we're going to take this camera and we're going to move it over top so that you can see what I'm doing, right? I want you to have a really good view of what we're doing. So I'm going to leave my station, go around my desk, and you're going to have the camera going every which way, but eventually it'll get correct. And we're going to put it over so you guys can see what I'm doing, okay? Michelle Patsy's on. Hey, 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 how are you? Good to see everybody. Kathy, please. Oh, please go like and Kathy on Facebook page. Yes, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Tina. Hi, Tina. And Mary's on. Hey, you guys, what a pleasure it is to be with you all. So you see my face, and for those of you that come in late, I'm sorry that you won't be seeing my face, but you can go back to the replay and see who I am. So I'm going to run around my desk, take this camera up and over, and that's what we're going to do. So now, you guys, if there's ever a time where you ask me a question and I don't see it, because sometimes this iPad goes kafooey and I can't see comments, and it just gets to be a hot mess sometimes. But anyhow, if there's every time I don't see a comment, in the end when I'm done, I'll see if there's any questions, and then I'll answer that for you. So, you know, don't go crazy if I don't see your comment right away, that type of thing, okay? All right, so here we go. So this is what we're going to use today. We are going to use this triangle board. You're all familiar with the triangle board, right? Good, looking good. Hey, Kathy Mitchell and Sandy and Sandra. Good to see you. Hi, Patsy. So I've got this triangle board, and I'm going to do my version of a witch hat, okay? Because everybody's got their own version of what a witch hat should be and so on and so forth, but this is going to be my version. So we've got the triangle board. I'll show you in a minute how I loaded these up. Hey, Ann, how are you? We are going to use something a little bit different today. Now, when I use mesh for this particular project, I usually use a heavy enough mesh where it will cover my board, and not too thick and not too thin, because if it's too thin, you are going to be able to see through this board, and the whole idea behind it is not to see through the board, right? You don't want to see through the mesh so you can see the board. So I kind of like something in the middle as far as the mesh goes. But today, I've got this mesh from Craft Outlet. And this is a polka dot mesh, obviously. And they had it in a couple different colors. And you guys, I just fell in love with this. I thought this was the coolest thing ever. But it's really thick. It's a thick mesh. And there's no way you're going to see through this, right? So we're going to go a little bit different than your typical witch hat, because you know, your witch hat is like all black. I just thought that this was fun. Hey, Heidi. I thought that this was really fun to use, but it is extra thick. So I'm going to try it with you guys and hope that it turns out. You're like, well, why would you do that? This is your first live. Well, you know, no guts, no glory. So we're going to use a thicker mesh. Now, this is a polka dot mesh, and the number on this is XB as in boy, 10841-21. XB as in boy, 10841-21. It's a polka dot mesh, and that's what we're using for this. And then we're gonna get this top part of it done, and then we're going to go down to the bottom here, okay? So we're going to concentrate on this area first, and then we're going to go do some fancy stuff down at the bottom. So here's what I did. For this project, I would prefer to use pipe cleaners. And the reason that I'm using pipe cleaners instead of a zip tie is because I'm going to need to adjust this just a little bit as I'm putting it in here. And with a zip tie, it's a little too final for me, right, for this project. So I chose pipe cleaners, and I'm putting the pipe cleaners on every other one. So I've started here at the end, and then we've skipped a set, and then this one, skip here, skip here, skip here, right? That's how I've set my board up. So if y'all want to take a screenshot of that, it's not a hard one, but it's going to work for our project, okay? So that's that. Hey, Miss, hi, Bevelyn, how are you? So that's what we're going to do. Now, we're going to have to prepare this top area up here to receive the mesh as we're going up and down, right? So this hole right here, this very single hole, I usually take 2 pipe cleaners. All right, I usually take 2 pipe cleaners and I just kind of twist them around each other so it makes them one giant pipe cleaner. Now, I did say this was extra thick, so I'm almost thinking I'm going to add an extra pipe cleaner. So we're going to have like 3 pipe cleaners, just because I don't want to run out of pipe cleaner. But on a normal roll, we're going to use 2. But this is extra thick, so I'm going to be very cautious because I don't want to run out of pipe cleaner up here. So I put 3. You might want to use 2. We'll see how we fare after we get all of this tucked in, okay? Hey there, Judy. So I'm going to take this pipe cleaner and put it right in this hole up here. All right, just put it right through that hole. And then I kind of like to make it even. It's not going to end up even when we're done, you guys. We're going to have one side that's longer than the other, but this is how we're going to start out, okay? So just take that, and actually I just really leave it open. All right, so this is how your board is going to look when you start out. So we're going to have an open pipe cleaner here, and then we've got our pipe cleaners down here that are also open. All right, so get these guys ready to receive the mesh. And what I do, and this is 10-inch mesh, by the way, and you can do this with 21-inch mesh, but you wouldn't need probably so many rows down here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I lost a pipe cleaner. I did. I lost one. It fell on the floor. I see that. So we've got 5 pipe cleaners here. And you may not need quite so many with a 21-inch because, like I said, it's a thicker mesh and it'll cover a little bit more of your board. But I really prefer to use the 10-inch mesh on this. Okay? Alrighty. So let's get going. This here is fairly simple to do. I end up moving the board every which way when I'm doing it, so I'm hoping you're going to follow me on that. So I'm just going to, for now, actually I'm going to start with this. I'm left-handed, you guys. So I'm going to start with this on my right side, and you all that are right-handed might want to start with the top to your left side, but it's easier to put this together with the board sideways like this. You don't want to try it up and down. It just probably isn't going to work great that way. So you're always going to want to have this section open, all right? You're always going to want this pipe cleaner open to receive the mesh up and down, and then between each section we're going to tie it off, and you'll see what I mean in just a second. So let's start with this. So we're just going to take our 10-inch mesh and make our little ruffle up here. Nothing fancy dancy. I usually leave enough to tuck around the back. So this here is about 2.5, 3 inches. Better to have more than not enough. So we're going to take this and put it right in the top here, and we're going to give this a really good twist, you all. We're going to want to twist this really good once. One time around is all you're going to need, because we don't want to create any more bulk here than we already are going to have, because you're going to see as I continue to move this mesh up and down our board, this part is going to get bulky because it's all going to be accumulated in this one spot. Whereas down here, we're accumulating it in all these different spots, okay? Hey there, Deborah. So we got these guys over here, so we're going to start with the side closest to me is where I like to start with my pipe cleaner. So the pipe cleaner is always open here. And then we're going to take this top side up and we're just going to roll it down here. And I want to make sure that these edges are kind of folded, not folded under, but that they just project under. They just go like that, right? We don't want these flipping up like this. We want this to go down like that. All right, so I'm just going to take this even from the top. I'll bring you guys in just a little closer so you can see a little bit more what I'm doing. All right, so I'm going to take this top with my two hands, and I'm just going to kind of gather it with my hand, making sure this is under and this side is under. And I'm going to bring it along this side of the board down into my very first pipe cleaner over here, which is open. All right. So that's what I'm going to do. Now you don't want to pull too hard because you'll see your board will start, it'll start curving up, but you want to pull hard enough so that there's a nice, just a real nice flow on your mesh. And this isn't going to be perfect here on every single one. It might look a little bit different as we go, but you want this general look on your mesh. So I'm going to bring it down to this pipe cleaner right here, the first one on the edge. And I'm going to hold it here, put this down here and stretch it as much as I need it to be so that it looks good. And then I'm going to take this very first pipe cleaner and I'm going to tie it in here really tight. All right, with just, I usually do one twist to start, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your mesh, which is the top side up, we're going to rotate it. I'm rotating it away from me, just like that. And we're going to head it back up the other direction to our hat. So I'm going to unroll it back up between the pipe cleaners. I'm going to roll it right up between these pipe cleaners, keep it there, and then we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to gather this up, and you want to make sure that this bottom part here is twisted, and I'm going to make it a little prettier like that, and then I'm going to bring it right back up between these tippy top pipe cleaners. Here's the first piece. I'm going to bring it right beside this up here, okay? The polka dot's great, isn't it? I got it from Craft Outlet. All right, so I'm going to move these pipe cleaners out of my way. I'm kind of done with these pipe cleaners right now. The very first ones we did, I'm all done with those. So we're going back up our whole board here. All right, now I'm going to turn this because I prefer to run it back up this way on my left-hand side. But whatever way you need to turn this board is the way that you need to do it, whatever's comfortable for you, okay? So we're going to run it right back up beside this piece. I'm going to gather it with this hand right here so that I've got a nice looking material right here. And I'm going to not be real picky about it looking just like this because it doesn't have to, but I am going to continue to make sure my sides are down, my side is down, and then bring it right back up to the top here between this pipe cleaner. This pipe cleaner is always open to receive this, okay? So up we go. Now, once you do this, you guys, this doesn't take long at all. If you were to do a couple of these, you'd be going zip, zip, zoop, zoop, and you'd be done with this in no time. But I'm going to go slow so that you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to kind of put it on top of here, right where I started. It's going to go right on top of that, or right beside it, really. It's going to kind of go beside it. Because if we put it on top, that means we'd be covering this one up. So we want it to be beside this piece right here, right? And we're going to pull it just tight enough. And I'm going to take my hand and go underneath this so I can kind of push that up just a little bit. And then I'm going to take my pipe cleaner and I'm going to take this and give it one good twist, right? One nice hard twist, you guys. Get it on in there. And then I'm going to end up with these pipe cleaners open. And I'm going to take my mesh and I'm going to swing it right back down again to the second pipe cleaner on the bottom. Okay, so we're going to twist it just like that. And then I'm going to kind of unroll it past my pipe cleaner and I'm going to get this top part situated nicely. So I'm going to spend a little time up here because like I said, this is extra thick for me. So I want to make sure I try to get it exactly where I want it. And then I'm going to turn it around again because I need it on the other side for me to be able to do this good. And then I'm going to bring this right back down next to this one. We just did this one. We're aiming for the second pipe cleaner down here, and it's open, so my mesh can go right between that, right? So here we go. And it's going to go next to this piece, okay? They end up being kind of tight together. And then we're going to take it down once we're happy with how taut this is. And again, we don't want to pull it too much because see me lift the board there? We don't want to lift the board. We want it just tight enough so that it stays nicely. And then we're going to take our second pipe cleaner down here and we're going to give this a nice big twist, right? Twisty, twisty. You can do it a couple times. In the end, I'll be twisting these even more. You can do it a couple, 2 or 3 times, and then we're done with that pipe cleaner. So I can move that out of my way. And now we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to take this, turn it around, and hand it back up in the top direction here. We're going to turn it around past the top. I'm going to pay attention to the bottom here so I get this turned nicely. I want that flipped right over itself, just like that. See how nice that is? See how good that's nice and twisted? It's not halfway or anything like that. It's nice and twisted. And we're going to send it right back up to the top of the hat. All right? Pass it between these 2 top pipe cleaners, right? Just like that. And we're going to keep doing the same thing until we put some in all of these bottom pipe cleaners, all right? We're going to head on down to our 3rd pipe cleaner in a second. Right, my edges are down. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? And I'm going to put it right back up at the top here, right next to all the other ones. Right up there. And I'm going to give this a nice, strong twist, like Wheaties twist, like Eat Your Wheaties Today twist. All right? Now, this is up just a little bit higher than I want. So if I had used zip ties in here, I wouldn't be able to adjust it. So that's why I like my pipe cleaner. So I'm going to adjust this because I'm not happy with how high that's looking. So I'm going to take that up and just pull this down a little bit more until I'm happy with how that looks, okay? Just about like that. That looks really good to me. So now I'm going to take my pipe cleaner and give her a good strong twist. All right, so that's looking really good, right? Now you're saying to me, Miss Kathy, look it down here. We can see the board. It's okay. We're going to cover that up afterwards with our goodies, okay? So don't worry if you've got this part of the board showing. All right, so we've got the pipe cleaners open. We're going to twist this back down around again. Twist it, twist it. And it's going to go between the 3rd pipe cleaner down here, right down between that baby. But I'm going to spend a little more time up at the top. Get him going where he's going. Back the other direction, all right? And then we're going to just simply put this down into the 3rd pipe cleaner. 1, 2, 3. This will be our 3rd piece down. It's going to go right between that pipe cleaner. Hey, 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 Helen. Hi, you guys. Thank you for joining me. Thanks so much. Keep our ends down. And then we're going to put it kind of right on the side of that one. Just like that. All right, so that's looking pretty good, right? This material is such that it really it stays kind of where you put it, which I love. So we're down back the bottom. We're going to give this a couple, 2 or 3 really good twists so we don't come out. All right, get it out of the way and back up we go. Give it a twist up to the top between our pipe cleaners. I seem to have lost part of my pipe cleaner. There she be. She'd hide in there. Right back up between that pipe cleaner. Right there. Get this guy situated where he wants to go. You guys, this reminds me a little bit of shelf liner. You know the feel of shelf liner? This is kind of plasticky. It's the coolest thing ever. I love this. I love this. All right, and there's the one we just did. We're going to put it right up beside it. Alrighty. Woohoo! Right up beside here. Right between this pipe cleaner, right? We got the pipe cleaner open. Put this right beside it. So I'm trying to kind of line these all up together. Now there's going to be some creases and so on and so forth, but I kind of like to make sure they're the same, about the same height on there, okay? So right back up here we go to our top pipe cleaner. Give it a super strong twist. Keep that pipe cleaner open and twist this guy back down into the fourth pipe cleaner that we're going to. Twist him down. Spend some time at the top trying to get this top looking pretty. All right. And down we go. Here it goes right down to the bottom. Doing the same exact thing, making sure our sides are down and under. Putting it right beside here. If this guy decided he's going to flip up, I'm going to flip him back down. Put him right down beside here. And try to get him the same height here. Into our fourth pipe cleaner, down here we go. Right? Once I got it the way that I want it, I will tuck it on in there. That looks pretty good to me. So once you make up your mind that these are looking the way you want them, once you tie this off 2 or 3 times, there's not any going back, you guys, in fixing this. So you need to fix these as you want them as you go. Okay? So if I decided this one wasn't correct for me, I'm not going back and untying this and fixing it. You kind of did what you did. So that's why it's so important while you're making this to try to do the best that you can to get them looking the way that you want them to look, okay? So we've got that one where it's supposed to go. I gave it 2 or 3 twists, which is perfect. And now we're going to turn this around. We're going to send this guy back up, right? He's going back up between. We've still got these pipe cleaners at the top here. Open up, because we're going back for a last time up through there. So we're going to bring it back up to the tippy top. We've got this bottom that we've got to pay attention to. Well, maybe I might have twisted this twice. Let me see. Let me see here. Yep, there we go. I twisted this more times than it was supposed to be. And I want to make sure the bottom here is nicely done. Bring it up to the top. And this is our last time at the top. The other one's going to end up down at the bottom, okay? So here we go. We got one last twist here, and we're going back down one more time. And that will be 5 times up and down, okay? So I want to make sure that I kind of get this where I want it. I'm going to pull on it the way I want it, and then I'm going to pull it back up between this top pipe cleaner here. Give it a nice, great twist. Just one twist at the top every time you go up through. You can do 2 or 3 at the bottom, but only 1 at the top. All right, we're going to turn this around one last time and end up down at the bottom here on this end. All right, so turn it around between the pipe cleaner. All right, we're going to pay attention to this. Now, you guys, we're not going to see any of this here. So if it looks a little messy, now sometimes if you do it, sometimes this end starts creeping down. So you see how we have most of it up at the top here? Sometimes when you catch this at the top of the pipe cleaner, it'll start slanting down. If it does, don't worry about it, all right? It's hard to keep this toward the top of your board. All right, last time around, you all. This is it. This is the last time. So let me show you. This is our end piece right here. We're going to open that up. Down we go, in between that pipe cleaner. This is our very last time down. And we want to make sure that we get this edge covered well. All right? Get that edge covered really good. And then I try to make sure it's even with the rest of these guys, which it is. And then I'm just going to take my pipe cleaner, give it 2 or 3 good twists, you guys. 1, 2, 3, because it's not going to come out of there. And now we're done. So I can now cut this off. I'm going to leave a little tail so that I can kind of either bring it around the back or else zip tie it down here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but we're going to do that in a minute. So I'm going to cut this off now because we're all set. And so you have all of this left. That's what you have left. So you probably have almost enough, I'm thinking, to do another one of these. Now, I haven't tried to get 2 of them out of one roll yet, but you could try. All right, so this is what we have down here. We're going to give this some twists, and I think I'm probably going to get a pipe cleaner or a zip tie and just zip tie it right on. So I'm going to zip tie it right here, right there. So we got the pipe cleaner here, zip tie here, right? And I'm just going to take a little 4-inch black zip tie, put this in there, and see if I can't get this baby down somehow. All right, and that will kind of take care of that. All right, so that guy's down there. And then if we have anything on the edge here we need to clip off, just clip it off. Just clip that little tail off, and you're not going to even see the tail, so don't even worry about it, you guys. Now, I did end up clipping my thing in here. So now that these are done, we can twist them. I like to twist them until there's about a 1/2 inch twisted. So I like about a 1/2 inch of this twisted, and then I cut it off, and then I take my pliers and I roll it down in here. I'm going to roll that right down in here. Hey there, Kay. All right. Same with this. Give it a twist 3 or 4, 5, 6 times until I have about a 1/4 inch. Clip these off. Take my pliers. Let me bring it down really low and you can see. So see this piece right here? This piece right here. I'm just going to take these and roll them, twist them right down in. That's all I'm going to do. And that will hide those guys and get them right out of our space, okay? So twist them, clip them, and roll them. Twist them, clip them, and roll them. That's what we're doing, okay? Down we go. Just like that. And one last one to do. And these guys aren't going anywhere. All right, so up we go again. So this is what your board is going to look like for the bottom. All right, this is what we look like for the bottom. Okay, that's what we have so far. Now that we've got the bottom all tidied up, the top, you can see how this kind of has a space of its own, right? A space of its own. So we started here on the board in the middle, and it kind of jogged itself over because it has to jog itself over because we kept going this way with our mesh, right? So there's no way that we could keep doing this up and down and keep everything in the middle because it just wouldn't work that way. So don't be alarmed if your stuff starts jogging over to the side like I said before. This is where we started. All right, so we're going to take the same thing here, you guys. We're done with this. So we only probably needed 2, but I did I did 3 pipe cleaners. So I'm not going to go crazy. I'm just going to give these a twist off because we don't need these pipe cleaners anymore, okay? So I'm going to do the same thing to this as I did to these. We're going to give it about 3 or 4 twists. So I have about a 1/2 inch or an inch left of my black pipe cleaner, and I'm going to roll it right down under so it's out of our way, all right? And we also have this tail here. We can also kind of get rid of this tail now. So I'm going to cut that off. So everything's nice and neat now, right? Everything on our board now is nice and neat. So that's the worst of it. Now the next part is the decorating part, which is the most fun part. So remember, we don't worry about these spaces because we're gonna fix those. So there's a whole lot of ways that you can decorate this, you guys. What I decided to do was to make some big bows to go through here, right? Big bows. Craft Out sells UTC triangle. Yes, it does. That's why I like Craft Outlet, because they do sell the boards, so I can get some things and also get the boards here too. I did the ribbon. So I made a couple of the bows. So we're gonna do bows here, and we're also gonna put a great big bow on the top of here. Alrighty, let me show you what I did. I made 2 of them already, you guys, because I figured you're not gonna want to sit here and watch me make 3 bows, right? Because sometimes it's like, oh my God, right? Is she ever gonna be done with the bows? Because I'm not a hand bow maker. I like to make my bows with the bow maker because that's just, it hurts my hands if I don't. And so I decided to use some of the fabric mesh in here along with this wonderful, wonderful ribbon that I did get from Craft Outlet. You guys, they don't have any more. I bought this last year, so they don't have any more of this, but I'm sure if you go look on Lori's page, maybe she's got some really pretty Halloween ribbon for you guys. This ribbon here and the black ribbon here came from, let's see. The black ribbon came from Hobby Lobby. That's a black shiny ribbon. And this one here came from Joann's. It's just a orange sparkle. Alrighty, and then there was this one here that came from Craft Outlet. Alright, those are the 3 that I used for my bow along with the mesh. So let me show you. These 2 are going to go down at the bottom, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to put at the top. So I'm going to get this bow maker out. Now, yes, I'm still using this clunker. I'm still using this big one. You guys, I have to get one of them little stow and go things because I think it's going to be a whole lot easier. But for right now, I'm going to welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in to me. I'm Kathy from Kathy Dyer Wreaths. It's so good to see you. You did see my face earlier, so hello, everybody. So I'm still using this, which, you know, it's my old standby. And I'm going to use this 10-inch, right, mesh. And I'm going to take it and probably stick it right on my thread there. And I'm going to treat this just like I would a roll of ribbon, okay? Just like I would a roll of ribbon. So this is going to go on the top of our witch hat. So I want a little bit more of this fabric mesh than I did on the bows that are going to go on the bottom. So I'm going to make this a little bit longer than I did the ones on the bottom. The bottom bows, I did a 6-inch tail. This I'm going to do like a 7-inch tail. So let me measure 7 inches out, right? And you don't have to put it on here. You can put it on the side, but then it's probably going to fall all over my station. So I'm going to measure a 7-inch tail out and do the exact same thing. Then we're just going to ruffle up the center, right? And you guys, this doesn't have to be exact. I'm going to ruffle it up the center. And I'm also going to put it in here and twist it, all right? I'm still going to twist over my mesh. Now, I probably don't have to because, well, yeah, I do. I was going to say because the bottom and the top kind of look the same, but there's clearly a top of this mesh, you guys. So there's clearly a top, so we want to make sure that we get it right. All right? So I'm going to do about a 7-inch tail, and I'm going to try to make sure that these guys are kind of even out here. So I'm going to pull this edge and pull this edge so it goes out to 7 inches. Now, if I decide later that this 7 inches is too much for me, I'm just going to trim it. But you know, it's always better to have a little extra and trim it than come up short. We don't want to come up short. So I take this and I'm going to, did I twist this over? No, I didn't twist this over. I'm going to twist it over so that just like I can, I'm going to come through with my loop. All right, with one loop. One loop. I might as well just take this and throw it over there. It's going to be easier. And I'm going to do, this loop is going to be a 5-inch, well, actually, let me see. I'm going to do a 5-inch loop. I can't make up my mind, 5, 6. I'm going to do a 5-inch loop, all right? Now, it's not straight like it is on a regular bow. I have a little bit jotting out here, but as long as it's generally 5 inches, then that's what I'm shooting for. Because remember, the mesh is a little more difficult to work with than your ribbon. So I've got this loop at 5 inches. I'm going to twist my fabric mesh over, right? Just like I would my ribbon. I'm going to twist this guy over, hold him down in there. Now I know I should have put my thing on the bottom, but I didn't yet, but I will after. And then we're going to run this right back over, right? Run that over, and then we're going to make our other loop here at 5 inches, okay? So I'm just going to gather this up in here. I didn't measure. I'm going to measure once I get it in here to make sure it's about 5 inches. So this fat part here is at my 5-inch mark, which is what I need. All right. And now I'm just going to kind of look at it and see if it meets what I want it to do. So I got this part here. I'm going to make sure I'm going to feed a little bit more through because these have nice wings. This does not. So I want a little more wing, if you will, out there so that these two guys look about the same. All right. The object of this is to make it so these two tops look about the same and the bottom down here looks about the same. So that's my goal. And that looks about right to me. And now I'm going to take this and trim it off in about 7 inches. All right. This is not a science, you guys. This is a little bit on the messier side. So if it bothers you that it's a messier bow, then that might not be the bow for you. But I kind of like this. So I'm going to run with it. I'm going to run with this and just cut this off. I'm going to cut it off willy-nilly. All right. I'm going to find one spot in here. You know how when we use the wood burning tool, we find a spot and follow that path? I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to find a spot in my mesh, and I'm going to take my scissors and follow that same line all the way up. So I can have a fairly even thing here. So I'm going to, about 7 inches, I'm going to follow my line with my scissors, and that's going to be that. So we did that. That one's all done. That's going to be the bottom of our bow. That's going to be for the top of our witch hat. So you can see right here, right? This looks like it's out a little bit more than this one, but I'm not worried because I can clean that up in a heartbeat afterwards, okay? So let's just keep this bottom rolling. Now, before I forget, which I always do forget, you guys, if you watch me, you know I always forget to put my wire in there. I'm going to grab myself, a zip tie, a black zip tie, and I'm going to grab myself a pipe cleaner, a black pipe cleaner, and I'm going to feed the zip tie down through here so that when I'm done with this, I can just kind of yank this up. Alrighty. All right, so we're going to leave that just like that for now. I'm just fiddling with this because I want it to look a little bit more even here. Let me see. Okay, that's good. That's good. Hey there, hey there. Okay, so we got that. Now let's go on with this. This is a 2.5 inch mat or 2.5 inch ribbon from Craft Outlet, and you can get your boards there as well, which is perfect. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to cut this, right? We're going to take this and we're going to dovetail it. You guys are all familiar with the dovetail. You've probably seen it 1,000,001 times. And I'm just going to come out to the edge of my 7-inch tail here. All right, that's where I'm going to go with this. Right out to the edge of my 7 inches. I'm going to stick it in there, give it a twist. Whoops, a little long. Give it a twist, just like that, and that's good. Now, if I need to cut this later, you know we can, right? It's always good to have a little extra. And I'm going to be putting 2 loops on each side, all right? So a tail, and these loops are going to be 5 inches long. 5 inches long on the loops, all right? There's 1 loop on that side. Give it a nice twist. Now, for those of you that are antsy-pantsy, because this is upside down, I'm not an antsy-pantsy upside down person. It doesn't matter to me that my ribbon's upside down. It's right to you, but it's not right to me, and I'm okay with that. So if this is making you like crazy, just go la 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 la, and it'll be over in just a minute, and then you can see how pretty it is, right? All right, 5 inches there. We're going to give it 1 more good twist here. We're going to line her up with this guy right there. Line her up just like that. Give it 1 more good twist. And we're going to line this guy up over here so that they're 5 inches loops. 5-inch loops. All right, so that looks pretty good to me. Now what I'm going to do is take this tail and bring it out to the 7-inch mark and cut it off. All right. And give it a dovetail. All right, so there we go. So that's going to be the base. This tail looks longer, I can see, but I'll cut that later, no big deal. So that's that one, right? Pretty, pretty. Now, I think what I'm going to do is just move these guys up a little bit. I like to adjust my bow a little bit while it's in my bow maker. It just makes it easier than having to adjust it all when you're trying to zip tie it in. So I just try to get a general idea where I want my stuff before I zip tie that baby in. Okay, so there's that. So we've got 2 loops on each side. This looks a little longer to me. I'm going to bring that guy in because he looks like he needs a little reining in there. All right, that's good. And now what we're going to do is we're going to bring the black. This is a real old one, you guys, from this was Hobby Lobby. God, I don't even know how long ago. I've had this probably forever. It's a real sparkly shiny, right? We're going to do the same thing, except for we're going to take our loops down a 1/2 inch, right? So it's be about 4.5 inches. Okay. And my tail I'm going to keep pretty long. I'm going to match it right up with this, you guys, because this is going to be for the top of the witch hat. And I want to make sure I have good coverage up there. So I'd rather keep it long, and then we'll cut it off after if we have to. All right. So we're going to do here 2 loops on each side, but these are going to go down a 1/2 inch. So these are going to go down to about 4.5 inches. You do learn a lot from different coaches, you guys, because you know what? We can all make the same thing, and it can all be different, right? So when we do Lori's kits, each of us could be doing the same kit, but they're all going to look different, right? And that's the good part about it, because you might pick up one tip from one coach that you like, and then pick up another tip from another coach that you like, and then mix them all together on your wreath, right? So pick what you like out of everybody, and then make that on your wreath, and then make it spectacular, right? So there we go. Both at about 4.5 inches. 2 loops on that. And I'm going to make this really long. And you guys, I will see you again in 2 weeks. I'll be on again in 2 weeks. I'm going on every other Tuesday at 6:30 Eastern Time. So you'll get to catch me. Hey, happy to see you, Chris. Very happy to see you. Thank you for coming in. All right, now I'm just going to adjust these guys a little bit for right now. Now at the very top, I've got orange because I want that orange to bring out the orange in this bottom ribbon, right? Because that's what we want to do. Because right now we've got a lot of black in here, but we're going to spice this up even a little bit more afterwards. You'll see what I'm going to do to it. You'll see what I'm going to do. All right, so that's away. Now let's see if I have enough on this one. I have this one open already, so we'll see if we've got enough here. Yeah, I think we do. I think we're going to make this, you guys. We're going to give it a shot, right? We're going to give it a shot. Now, the next time you see me, you guys, I'm going to be doing Christmas. I am switching my craft room over to Christmas. So I know it's early. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Woohoo! Hashtag make it like Kathy, right? Love it. Love my shirt. Thank you so much. I love it. So yeah, we'll be doing Christmas next time. Now for this one, I'm only going to do, I'm going to take it down another 1/2 inch, so 4 inches. I'm only going to do 1 loop on each side. 1 loop on each side. Hey, nice to see you, Lee. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a dog's age. You guys, the people that follow me are on this page, and I haven't seen them in a bit, so I'm so happy to see everybody. All right, so there we go. Loop here. I want to make sure they're about even. So let me look on an eyeball on them. Yes, they are. And I'm going to keep that a long tail again, because you never know when I'm going to need a long tail, right? All right, out we go. That's done. I'm going to take a little, I got some iced tea here. I'm going to take a little bite. Alrighty, thank you so much. Thank you for the welcomes. You guys are so kind to me. Thank you. I feel right at home here. Thank you so much. And then I'm just going to kind of leave this like it is, and I'll mess with it when I get it where I need it to be. Okay, so we're going to take our zip tie. Now, I've only got, I think this zip tie here, you guys, this is only a 6-inch zip tie, and I really could use an 8-inch, but I don't have any black 8-inch zip ties. So I think I'm going to use a cream one. I just made that decision, because you're not going to be able to see this zip tie when I'm done. I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll just use a clear one. So I'm going to be daring. I'm going to use a clear one. I'm just going to stick it through here. I'm going to lift this up on the bottom so I can get it where I need it to be, you guys. And then we're going to lift this up and in here without losing it, right? We don't want to lose our stack. Oh, goodness sake. So I'm going to tighten it down enough to keep it together, but I still need to get this pipe cleaner underneath because we need to be able to attach our top bow to something. So I have to add this pop cleaner. Hey, Stacy, this pipe cleaner underneath here. So I'm going to bring this in and cross my fingers, you guys. I've never lost a stack before. I have never lost my ribbon stack. I don't know if you guys have or not, but oh boy. It's probably not a fun time. You'd have to like start all over again. And so I'm going to take that out, and then I'm going to just turn this over and put this black pipe cleaner in here. And then I'm going to bring this zip tie to the front, to the back, I mean, and zip it up. Grab it, zip it, grab it, right? Grab that right in there just like that. Alrighty, and then we can put this monstrosity out. I'm going to get one of them little guys. I really am. I think I am. And now we're going to be able to just, I'm going to be able to take a look at this, right, and see what's wrong. Like, what's wrong here? To me, this side's looking maybe a little long, but I'll make that decision after. So I want to spread these guys out well because we have to cover some stuff on our witch hat. So I'm going to spread these guys out. And you can spread these whatever way you do your bows. All right. After I'm all done, I'll go through and open up all of our loops because we want our loops to be open because that's what makes our bows pretty, right? All right, so this will be the top. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip the back of this off because we're all done with the zip tie, right? And we still have our pipe cleaner here to attach it to our wreath. Thank you, Sandra. So you can use any mesh you guys you want. 10-inch mesh with your bow. It's just something a little bit different. So we're going to leave it like that. Now we're going to do, you're saying, Miss Kathy, this looks ridiculous, right? You can't keep your bow like that. Well, I know that looks ridiculous, so we're going to fix it. I thought about that ahead of time, thank goodness, and we're going to fix that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make ourselves some glitter balls. Now, for those of you that know me, you know that I love glitter balls, and I'm sad to say I've lost a glitter ball here somewhere. Where'd he go? I don't see him. He must have rolled like off my counter or somewhere. Maybe he's mixed up in the back of here. I'm gonna go grab me another glitter ball because we're gonna make ourselves some little glitter bunches. Some little glitter bunches. Let me grab another one of these guys, okay? Just 1 second and I'll grab it. So for those of you that aren't familiar with these glitter balls, alrighty, you can get these glitter balls at Hobby Lobby, alrighty? When it's in season, like now, you can probably find the black and the orange and the purple and the lime green. Well, actually, you can't find these ones. Well, probably Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby doesn't sell Halloween, you guys. You all probably know that. But these might be able to go into the fall section, right? So look for these in the fall section. If you can't find the colored glitter balls that you're looking for, go into the party section of Hobby Lobby. Now that's where you find like the coordinating paper plates, the coordinating streamers, all the coordinating stuff for your parties. They have bags of this stuff hanging in every color you can imagine. I have every color of glitter ball that Hobby Lobby sells, okay? But in season, like for Christmas, you'll be able to find the red, the green, and the white hanging right with the Christmas stuff. So go ahead and try to look for this stuff in the fall stuff, okay? Do you see all my links that I posted? Hi, Teresa. I haven't been looking, hun, but I will go back and look after. Alrighty, so now they also come in different sizes. I prefer, for this project, these bigger ones, and I'll show you the difference, right? So there's that. And then there's some itty bitty ones, you guys, but I don't want the itty bitty ones. I really want these, but I hate to say, I ran out of this size. Like in these black glitter balls, there's like not another one of them to be found. So we're going to take the next size up, which is probably like the same size as these, and we're going to just work it into our project, all right? So we don't have to be, matchy, matchy, matchy. We'll just use with what we got. And I found these things at the dollar store, and this is what you can use to put all your glitter balls in. Okay, so what you don't want to do is open this up and then spill these, you guys. Because if you spill these, you're gonna have fun picking these all up. So as soon as I'm done using the glitter balls out of these, I snap these. These snap right on, just like that. I snap it right back on because I know I'm gonna knock it over and I'll have 200 glitter balls all over. You can also get to them like with this. So I have these all stored away in all different colors for all different projects. All right. So I'm going to use 3 black ones and 3 orange ones. If you want your little things to be bigger than what I'm making, add more glitter balls. You could add 4 or 5 or 6. If you want this to be bigger, then just add more glitter balls. Easy peasy, but that's what we're doing. All right. So there's going to be one of these in the middle of each bow. So what you're going to want to do is grab yourself your glue gun, and then what I like to do is grab this little awl thing. This is a puncher sticker, right? Puncher sticker, because you're going to want to be able to make a little hole for your wire. So I've got some 26 gauge floral, well, you can't see that, but it's 26 gauge floral wire, you guys. You can find this Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Joann's, Michael's, wherever you want. And I cut them 10 inches. So I'm going to need 6 10-inch pieces of this wire. So let's do that right now. Let's cut 6 10-inch pieces for this. And it doesn't have to be exact, just, you know, close enough is good enough. So there's 1. And the reason I need 6 is because there's 6 of these little balls. I'm going to put 1 of these on each of those little balls. Now, maybe you all have a different way, a better way to do this. I don't know. But this is just the way that I came up with. So we're going to make this look a little fancier, right? We want this witch hat to be fancier than it is right now, right? The sparklier, fancier, the better as far as I'm concerned. This one jumped overboard. Sorry, it jumped overboard. I had to get him, you guys. He was like out of here. And then we're just going to measure these out. All right, good enough. Then what I did is I took my piece of wire, use a measure, but that's a good idea, and I folded this in half. I'm just folding the wire in half so that there's that loop, and then your 2 ends are open. So just fold it in half, and I just take my pliers here, and I stick them up in the middle like that, and I just twist this about 4 times, just to kind of make a little braided edge there. All right, and then you're going to take your little awl or a pair of scissors or whatever you have. You're going to stick it in here, so you can make a little hole to stick the wire in. Put a little glue on the edge of this, just a little dab, and then take your wire and put it in where you just punctured it, if you can find it. Put it right in there, just like that. All right, it's going to go just like that. And we're going to let that set for a minute. We're going to do that to all these balls. All right, so fold your 10-inch piece of wire in half. And in the loop there, I just grab this, give it a twist. So it kind of makes that little thing. It gives it something to grab onto, you guys. If you just put this end into that glitter ball, it wouldn't really be a whole lot for it to grab onto. So I wanted to double thickness it, double wire it, so that it gave it a little more to grab onto. It would be a little bit more sturdy in your design, okay? So that's why I did it this way. And then just stick it in there and let it be for a couple of minutes, all right? Stick this in, just like that. My wire, oops. Hey you guys, hi Pam, thank you all for joining me. I appreciate your support tonight. I appreciate your support every night, but tonight especially, since it's my debut here on the Unique in the Creek page. It's always nice to be amongst friends when you're doing something. You know, I'm used to doing this, but not on Lori's page, because I go live on my own page, and then I'm going live on Lori's page. which is perfect. So much better than glue. Yep. Alrighty, so just make 6 of these, or how many of these glitter balls that you're going to use. Totally up to you guys. Thank you, Miss Diane. I appreciate that. Stick her on in there. Get on in there. Ooh, get on in there, baby. All right, here we go. 2 more to go. Now, like I said, these are smaller than I'd like, but we're working with what we got. I didn't realize I was so low on these black glitter balls, you guys. I haven't used them in a bit. So I guess I better take some glitter ball inventory here and get myself stocked up, right? Wait till you see how this hat's going to look when we're done, you guys. You're going to be like, all right, this is awesome. And there's so many variations to it. And the good thing about this too, you all, is the fact that for Christmas, now Craft Outlet had some red and white polka dot mesh like I'm using, but in red and white. We're going to do a Santa hat, which would be super cool. So it's pretty versatile. You can use your triangle board, right? So many uses for it. And then just use the red and the white polka dot. Oh, awesome sauce right there. All right, so we got these guys all in here. All right, there we go. So then what I'm doing, hey, Jackie Blewett, is I set those away apart for just a minute. Put my stuff apart. Put my stuff away, and here they are. So we got 6 of them. So then what I did, you guys, is I'm just going to straighten that out a little bit. Straighten this out. Hey, Sandra. Thanks for coming on in here. Appreciate you. All right, so when these are dry, awesome. Am I supposed to say awesome sauce or no? That's an old one, isn't it? That kind of dates me. I'm sorry, you guys. That really dates me. So I put them in a nice little bouquet, just like some little balloons here. They're all on their wire. And then I'm just going to take them, you guys, and twist them. I'm going to take the top of these and twist them so that they kind of stay together, right? Kind of like a little balloon, but all them balloons together. And then I'm just going to split these apart, split the wires apart. They don't have to be totally even. I'm just going to split them apart where I think. No big deal, right? So I just split the wires apart. And now we're going to put them on our witch hat. All right, so we're going to take this and this, and we're going to wrap these guys right around our bow. All right, so I'm going to take them and wrap them around just like that. Oh, I better cut this zip tie off here. All right, so I'm just going to wrap them around and tie our little baubles to the back of our bow. All right, and I'm going to give it several twists so it stays on there, right? So there it is. And you can put as few or as many as you want, right? If you think that's not enough, then you up your game and put yourself in there, 10 of them, whatever you want. And then we're going to roll this under because we don't want those sharp wires hanging out. All right, so there's that. And then we're going to take this and put it in here. All right, so we're going to try to measure from the end of this to the end of here, right? So I'll take this because we want it to cover the side of the board, right? And then we're going to take this pipe cleaner that we have attached to our bow, and we're going to thread it through. Let me see where I want to thread it, okay? I'm going to thread it right here. So let me thread it and then I'll turn the board over for you, all right? Let me thread and then I'll turn it over. And you'll see how we're going to hide that bare board. Ain't no bare boards here, right? Ain't no bare boards here. All right, so this is where I tied it. I tied it right here. So 1, 2, 3 over. All right, so then what you're going to do, I'm not going to cut it yet. I want to make sure it's exactly where I want it. So we're going to arrange it so that it's pretty. And I hang it over the side just a little bit here. Pretty, pretty. Right? And then we're going to put our other one right next to it, okay? So let's add our little baubles. We made our little baubles here. We're just going to attach it. So really what we're doing is we're hiding that ugly zip tie, and we're giving this just a little bit more glam, right? A little bit more shine and glimmer, because there's never enough shine and glimmer in your life, is there? And then wrap it around there as many times as you need, and clip it off. And then take your pliers and wind this guy right down into the back of your bow, right? Wind them down. We've got our pipe cleaner there for attachment. And we're going to do the same thing to this one. Let me see, put it on the edge. And then I'll show you where I'm going to, on the back where I'm going to put it. So I'm going to try to measure this. This might overlap just a little, or I might bring this to the edge just a little bit more. So let me see what I want to do here. I got to face it toward me so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, that's good. I'm going to bump it over here. So these two right here, this one and this one, is where I put mine on. Now, yours might be different, because if you make your bows bigger or smaller, if they're smaller, you're going to have to maybe use 3 of them. If they're bigger, then you're going to have to spread them out more toward the edge of your board. All right, so I want to make sure that these are about at the edge of the board equally. And it looks to me like this one's sticking over the edge just a little more than it should. So I think I'm going to move this one out over the edge just a little bit more. So that's why I didn't cut it, because I'm thinking, well, if we want to fix the placement of this, then we can do that, right? So I'm going to move this over just a little so it goes to the edge of the board just a little bit more, so it's kind of even with this guy. And then we'll pretty up our ribbons. Yes, that's exactly it. All right, so I'm happy with that. So I'll show you that in just a second. We'll get this all up in there. Or maybe I'm going to move it up a little. I'm still deciding. Hang on. If I want to move these up a speck. I'm deciding if I want to take them from here and move them up here. So let me look and see what I think. No, I think that looks pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. And I might end up probably even gluing some of these in place. I'm not sure yet. But let's get these so that they look pretty. Let's open these up, make them look nice. And that looks good. And now we're going to do the very top, right? We got to do this top one up here. And that's this one. And we made these just a little bit longer for the top. So let's put our little bauble in here. Right? Put our little bauble. I might not have to cut these. Twist them, twist them, twist them. Cut them just a smidgeroo and make it go down. All right, let's get these on top. Let me figure where I'm going to put these on top, then I'll show you, okay? Let me figure it out what's going to look good. And I think I already figured it out. It's not too hard. This is a really easy placement, you all. Very, very easy. And I'll turn it over so you can see exactly what I did with it. Oh, perfect. Oopsie, nope, not yet. Hang on. Hang on. And like I said, you might have to glue a little. I think I'm going to go between my pieces here. I'm going to go down just a little lower between my pieces. Let's see, between piece 1 and 2, I'm going to bring this down just a little. I think I'm going to get a little more stability. I think. It's a trial and an error, you guys. Trial and error. I'm going to open these guys up. Let's see what I got here. I'm going to stand on my head. this through. Well, come on. It's like looking in the dark. It's like looking in the dark, you know, it's like working in the dark here. There we go. All right, we got it. Now let's do the other one. That one's through, and I'll turn it over. It's hard to explain where it is, you guys, but if I turn it over, you'll be able to see where it is, okay? No, I'm not liking that either. I'm going to put it back where it was. I'm going back where I were. That was down just a little too low. So who knew that putting the bow on was the hardest part? This is supposed to be the easiest part, you all. All right, we got it. All right, we got it. So we got this on here. So I'm going to twist these behind me for about another inch or so. And then I'm going to move my stuff around so I make sure that I get good coverage up here. I'm going to cut off. Some of these guys were a little wobbly up here, so I'm going to cut them off. And now we're going to arrange this so that it covers exactly what we want it to cover, right? So just move your loops around, move your tails around so that they get where you need them to be to cover the spaces that we need to cover. All right? And that's exactly what I'm doing. And I think this is about right. And I'm going to move the camera back again, you guys, so that you can see what I've done. Now let me take a quick peek here to make sure that I've got exactly what I want it to look like. And then we'll show you guys what it looks like. Now I got a couple tails here that need a little bit of trim in. They need a haircut, right? We don't need the tails to be quite so long. So now that we can see what we need to do here and cut a couple of these up, right? But it's always good to leave the length in case you need it, right? You never know when you're gonna need another inch or another, you know, couple inches. So we'll just trim these up and then we'll hold this up. I'll pull the camera back so that you all can see me and I can see you. And that's kind of going to be that. So there's the top, and we might need to just adjust it just a little. And the bottom looks really good. Okay, let's move the camera. Let's move the camera. Woo! All right, here we are. Look, it started out really, really good. Super good. So there's the bottom, and there's the top. These are a little wobbly. See, these are a little wobbly. So what I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm probably going to tack these down with just a little bit of glue on the bottom, just to keep them where they're supposed to be. And now let me show you the back of it. So here's the bottom. So there's where we put the bow, right? The bow is here, and the bow is right there. That's the bows. And then here's the top. There's what I did. Oh, look at how I got this, you guys. We're going to put these across, right? We need these across, not wonky. So we're going to fix that, but you get the idea. No wonder the bowl's going like this, right? There it is. So super fun, right? How fun is that? So how fun would this be with a Santa hat? You guys, you would do the same thing. You would put either like the red down here. You could do even the red and white polka dot mesh. You could do the white snowball ruffle mesh down here. You can make a Santa hat for up here. You can put Christmas balls up here. It's really endless what you can do with this board. So we'll probably be trying the Santa hat too, just because this was so much fun. And with making it just a little bit different down at the bottom here, just so we have a couple extra choices, right? A couple extra choices. So there she is. Super, super, super fun. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Are there any questions? What questions can I answer? I said I would be on afterwards to answer questions. Well, I can answer your questions now. So anybody have any questions for me on this project? Any questions at all? Hey, Sandy, how are you guys? Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Lori, for having me on here. It's been an honor for sure. Cute Joe. Hey, Joe, how are you? Good to see you. Any questions on this project tonight, you guys? Any questions? Here's the side view. Oh, gosh, really funny. And then, of course, what I didn't tell you guys, you put your hanger on the back. You all know how to put the hanger up here, the pipe cleaner up here on the hanger. You know how to do that, right? That's what you do. Hi, thank you, Connie. Thank you, thank you. My page name is Kathy Dyer, D-Y-E-R, Kathy Dyer Wreaths. That's what my page is. And I go live there probably once a week right now, maybe a little bit more afterwards. Hey, Lee. But you can go back and watch all my old videos if you'd like. There's plenty of them on there. All right, you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, everybody behind the scenes on doing this. And I will catch you guys 2 weeks from now. Yeah, 2 weeks from now. All right, every other Tuesday, I will be on this page at 6:30 Eastern Time. All right, thank you for your support, you all. I appreciate you. Have a great night, you all. And I'll put a picture on here afterwards. Tomorrow, when it's light outdoors. Bye, you guys.